Get in, nerds. We are explaining Hearts of Iron 4. Today, we're going to look at navies, how they work, and how to assign naval orders. Navies are a lot like... Actually, before we go on here, I'm just going to increase the effect volume back up, because we're not so deep in anymore. So, this is the Strategic Navy map view, and over here, we've got our navies. Each of these big anchors here represents one fleet. Each of these individual icons next to an anchor represents a task force. So, for example, currently my forces are all bunched together into one navy called Admiral Nord, and they're all in one task force called First Naval Region. I'm going to assign a commander to that, exactly the same as I would an army. This guy's got engineer, which is reduced critical hit chance. Naval lineage, number of ships in first contact, reduced retreat. Yeah, we'll do this guy. This guy seems pretty good. Like naval... Interesting. He's got access to Lancer, but he doesn't have... He's got it off of Superior Tactician and not... That's weird. He doesn't have Seawolf. I'm not sure what that's about. Hold on. Am I in... Does France have a special thing going on, or am I just in a mod? I don't think I'm in a mod, because I don't think this is in a modded run. Well, anyway, don't look at this too hard, because this looks different from what I'm used to it looking at. Maybe there's a very recent update or something. So, like divisions, navies have their own command card here, and you've got your list of what ships you've got in the task force, in the navy, and then in the task force. This one has a carrier, 5 battleships, 4 battle cruisers, 7 heavy cruisers, 11 light cruisers, 56 destroyers, and 80 submarines. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out my submarines. If I wanted to, I could hold the shift key, scroll all the way to the bottom, hold the shift key, because if I don't hold the shift key, I'm just going to change which one I got selected. But I could select all of them and go until I got all of my submarines together. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to click off and click back on so that I don't have a ship selected. I'm going to hit... So if you've got a ship selected and you hit the Create New Task Force button, that's going to create a new task force just consisting of the ship you've got. But if I don't have a ship selected, it brings up the Create New Task Force interface. This lets me select individual ships, or it lets me select all the ships of one type. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all my submarines out. I click that button, and this immediately creates a second task force containing just the submarines. Because there's a submarine task force, I'm going to go ahead and change the icon to a little Jolly Roger here. And actually, I think I'm going to have my submarines be in their own fleet. Because as you can see, it's created them in the same fleet here. And you notice they're in, use it 2 out of 10. You can only have 10 task forces in one fleet. So, with that having been set up, I can just go ahead and right-click in this bar here to create a new fleet. So, this is going to be my raiding fleet. Let's go ahead and assign it a commander. This guy looks pretty good. There's a battleship in here, and he's gentlemanly. Oh, no. We can't have a gentlemanly person leading a raiding fleet. Let's get this guy instead. He's a superior tactician. But sending 80 submarines into battle altogether is probably a terrible idea. So we're going to split them up into a number of small wolf packs. To do this, we're going to use the Split Selected Task Force in Half button. I've got 80 submarines. That's just perfect for 8 task forces full of 10 submarines each. So we'll hit this button. You notice that splits these task forces in half. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Now I've got 8 task forces. Easy peasy. You can see in the list of ships, each of them has about 10 submarines in it. Next, we're going to go back to our main fleet. We got this big task force here, but I'm going to use this task force primarily as a battle fleet, and I'm going to split patrol forces off from it. So, I'm going to hit the Create New Task Force button, and I'm going to select all the light cruisers and all the destroyers. So, now I've got my patrol forces here. Let's go ahead and and change up the icon here to this little pair of binocs here. That's going to make this a battle fleet. And we're going to change the color here as well to red. Binoculars are perfect for recon forces. Meanwhile, this is going to be my big strike force. I'm going to change this to the explosion. Normally I would have it be the plane, but I've actually only got one aircraft carrier here, and the rest is battleships. So for this, let's go ahead and split this into 4, I think. Is that smart? Let's do 8, and we'll grab, I think, 2 of these, and we'll roll them back into the primary battle fleet to act as screening forces, and then I think we're going to split these in half. This is just a very simple system. It's left click to select, right click to order. I'm just going to order these to consolidate in with the other task forces. Split this one in half, do the same over here. And that is a pretty good tutorial of how you do fleet management. Do I want to get in really... I'll do the command cards, because there's a lot of stuff here. I've been using the create new task force and split the task force in half buttons. I can also delete task forces. I think if I do this... Well, this actually destroys the units. Interesting. If I want to put them in the reserve, I can just right-click here. This is the naval reserve for the theater. And if I do that, that'll just put those units back there, and they'll automatically reinforce into anything that's low on ships. But I don't necessarily need to do that. This one's half the current selection of ships, so this lets me grab half and say, click the create new task force to turn those into a new task force, or put them in a different task force if I wanted to do it that way. I probably could have used these to do that manipulation I did earlier. I can turn these selected task forces into reserve fleets, which puts them down here as well. I can merge fleets together using the merge button here, which you saw me do a little while ago. I can distribute ships in balanced task forces across the 2 task forces, so that's an interesting option. Over here I can select refit. I don't have any ships selected, but I've got a refit ship button here that I could use for that. Or I can set them to immediately repair, which sends them to a port to repair. This is the automatic reinforcement button, which will cause reserve ships to feed directly into that task force, and then this is the automatic split off, which causes ships that are damaged to go to port by themselves so that the task force can continue operating. I can change up repair priority from never, low, medium, and heavy, and then I can change the risk tolerance indicator here from always engage, do not engage, engage at low, medium, and high risk. I don't tend to use that much. I tend to always say medium risk and just have that be what it is. So, that's how you do fleet manipulation. And just for visibility, I'm just going to show you what's going on with each of these ships. We got our organization and strength over here, same with land divisions. We got an image of the ship itself, and if I click this, I can see what type of stuff it's got. So we got the Britannia class. I can see its stats, and if I go to history, I can see what ships it's sunk. If I go to terrain, I can see what kind of bonuses it's in. This is a big old heavy ship, so it's weak in fjords and archipelagos. It's got a reduced chance to hit naval mines in oceans and seas. And if I go to design, I can get a look at the ship designer and what it's got on it. So this is a very old battleship. It's got a lot of level 1 stuff, and, you know, that is what it is. For the aircraft carrier here, we've got a visual to what kind of an air wing it has with it. I haven't been building many carrier aircraft, and by haven't been building many, I mean don't have any. So I haven't been managing that very well, so this is probably going to go down over time and might even not go back up. Then I can see its level of experience here, and what type of ship it is. So for example, this is a carrier. It's a Tier 1 carrier, a converted battleship hull. These are early heavy ships, Tier 1 heavy ships, and then we got some Tier 2 1936 heavy ships down here. So yeah, and then eventually there will be a little thing here where I can look at what enemy ships the ship has sunk, which is pretty cool. So, how do you operate fleets? There are a number of naval orders, same as there are air orders. So first, let's take a look at our raiding fleet. Here are our missions down at the bottom. This is naval exercises. It's like exercises for everyone else. You trade fuel and potentially attrition and damage, and you get experience points. For the unit, mostly the benefit is getting experience points into the Navy experience pool up here. Patrol is a basic mission so that's the training mission, and these are the regular missions. Patrol is a good one. It lets the unit take a look around any naval regions that it's assigned to. And by the way, what naval regions you can assign a ship to are determined by its range. Subs have crazy range, and I'm friends with a lot of people over in the north here. So I can actually assign to pretty much any region. But for example, if I go to... Do I really have full naval access? I mean, I guess I am friends with Great Britain, so I can go basically anywhere. But here we go. So the United States is not currently in the war. And so if I were deploying from Canada, I could reach these areas. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Problem. We're having a problem. I'm sorry, friends. Hearts of Iron Force. Oh, no. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. We're good to go. It just needed to sort itself out a second. Whew! Here's the international date line. I think that's the international date line. So, this red area shows areas that I cannot deploy to due to being out of naval range. But submarines are crazy high range by design. If I go to, say, one of my fleets that's mostly destroyers and light cruisers, you can see there's a lot of area in the Atlantic that I can't reach. I'm just wanted to give you a visual to that. You can assign any number of regions, but your number of regions you can cover effectively is going to be limited by the number of task forces you have. So, for example, if I am playing as France here, I could, if I got my raiding fleet here, I could cover the western approaches in the English Channel, and I can lock Italy out from trading with America or other countries across the Atlantic using these submarines. To successfully get them to do that, I would need to select all of them. I would need to set them to the convoy raiding mission. You can see I have 0% efficiency because all these guys are still in port here. I haven't told them to go anywhere yet. Or rather, I've told them to go anywhere, but they haven't gotten anywhere yet. Convoy raiding is a mission that causes the units to lurk about the area and shoot at enemy convoys, and if enemy ships show up, to bail. It does not provide hardly any naval superiority, but it does really mess up enemy supply, which is fun. You get that little button every time you do an order. You get that ding ding. And you can hold shift right click to remove the region. So, let's look at the other orders. This is a battle fleet. Battle fleets basically work like this. You have a small number of recon forces that will be on patrol. Patrol is basically looking for and spotting enemy ships. Then when you've spotted an enemy ship, the battle fleet comes out to shoot at them. So that means the strike force, and that's what this order does. So basically units that are on patrol orders here, I'm going to set all these guys to patrol orders, are going to patrol the areas they're assigned to and look for enemy ships. And then the unit that's on strike force, the task force that's on strike force, will come out and fight them. You can also use convoy escort to have units specifically go with convoys to prevent enemy submarines from attacking them, or to at least attack enemy submarines that are attacking them. And then finally, if you've got some mine laying capability, which in this one I do, or mine sweeping capability, you can have ships do that work as well. If they're in, and can they do this in addition to? No, only instead of the primary order. This is mine laying, this is mine sweeping. Mine laying over time saturates an area with mines that make it impossible for the enemy to safely move through. Mine sweeping gets rid of enemy mines. Easy peasy. And then finally you got naval invasion support. Big ships on naval invasion support will provide a shore bombardment bonus to all battles that are happening via land unit naval invasion. You can do raiding with regular units if I wanted to. I could be having some of these surface ships do engage in convoy raiding. They are pretty good at it, but they will get attacked by enemy fleets pretty regularly, and ships that are on the surface are much less good. They're faster, so they're better at escaping that way. But because they're on the surface, they're much less good at escaping into the water where they can't be seen. So that's why I prefer to use submarines for all of my convoy raiding needs. Historically, both Germany and Britain did use surface ships for supply raids, and fairly extensively, especially in Germany's case. I think the United States did some. I'm sure all of them did sort of selectively. You know, you come upon enemy convoys and you're like, all right, well, we'll shoot at those guys. They're enemy convoys. But for depending on who you were, it was more of a doctrine. I am going to assign these two fleets to these two sea zones, and in particular, I'm going to order this fleet to redeploy to the base in Sevilla, so that it is close to where things are happening, so that when a battle ensues, it will be nearby. Choosing where to base your strike forces is very important in Hearts of Iron 4, because you want them to be able to join a battle whenever there's a battle to join. And if they're not close enough, it's going to be a problem. I've already taught you how ships are designed. I haven't taken you through a naval battle here. We are at 15 minutes, though, so I am going to put a pin in it. There will definitely be a time to see a naval battle. Maybe I'll do that one right after this and just lead right into it. But yeah, anyway, that's a quick primer on how to organize fleets, what naval missions are, and what they do. I've had fun, I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you all on the other side.